Welcome back to the baseball podcast. We want to start off with something we kind of missed last week.
And have been neglecting for a while to even write about. Yeah. So we apologize for that.
We got through the entire episode and we're like, we didn't miss anything, we're good. And then like 10 minutes after we finished, I was just like, C.C Sabathia retired yesterday at the time.
Like right after.
Shit. So like we debated coming back into it and doing it again, but like we're all kind of busy and didn't actually get a chance. None of us wrote anything about it, so we figured we'd give him his dues.
Just pop in here, yeah. Talk about it now a little bit.
I mean, you had some numbers on him. I don't really have anything, but he's kind of a legend, more so for the Indians, I think, than the Yankees.
I mean, he won with the Yankees 2009 World Series, so there's that. 6-time All-Star, Cy Young winner.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that's a Hall of Fame career, right? I think it's a little upsetting because he doesn't get the send-off I think he obviously hopes. No one wants to go down with an injury.
No, especially the way he went out, man.
Like a separated shoulder, that's just
crazy. He threw more pitches after seperating his shoulder.
Absolutely, because he wanted to keep going. And I guess at the time you don't know exactly what it is, so you're still going to try to pitch through a spot like that. But yeah, it's kind of unfortunate that you could even see the emotion in his face, right? I think he knew it, and the fans knew it. It's going to be tough to get that, or I think it's going to be tough to kind of swallow that as your last game, right? Get over that, but
incredible leader too. That was the one thing with him is like, regardless, even the last few years, he hasn't been C.C Sabathia, but he's been such a dominant leader in that.
I mean, clubhouse. He came out of the bullpen, right? Like he wasn't even in the rotation. He that series
accepted that role coming in.
Absolutely, and that's huge, right? You do whatever you can for your team to win. I think that was part of it, and that's why he was really emotional about it. Was he still felt that he could do more, and then his shoulder just went right out.
Just didn't want to go with him.
Yeah.
It sucks.
So, I mean,
kind of had to talk about him. Big career.
Yeah, absolutely.
Legend. Probably a Hall of Famer. So I figured we'd get that.
I would think so. He checks off all the Hall of Fame boxes. Yeah. I think kind of World Series is a big one. Yep.
So, figured we'd get that out of the way before we got to go through this goddamn series.
Oh, this beautiful, beautiful series. Well, we can talk about the first two games.
There's been... I can talk happily about the first two games. Because we've seen 5 games in this series since our last podcast, because baseball gets through quick. And...
They roll through. Why do they do so many games? And like
I
get like...
I don't hate it.
Yeah, I guess.
But like...
But I guess because technically you do 3 games if you're the away team. Mm-hmm. You do 3 games in a row.
Yeah, I don't like that.
No.
I don't like the 2-3-2.
No, exactly. But
that's life.
That's baseball.
And games 1 and 2 for the Nats looked great, and it looked like they got Garrett Cole, and they didn't tear him apart by any means, but they scored on him, and they left with the lead against Garrett Cole.
Right.
And they ended up winning that game. They made it close in the end, but they took it. It was 5-4, I think it was. And it's great. I'm like, okay, cool. They have a chance in this series. They just beat their ace. And then game 2, you get Justin Verlander. And
I think after his first inning, though, he wasn't.
No,
he wasn't. He came back to being Justin Verlander after that.
You get some runs on him early. He leaves tied, I believe it was, or down 2.
Yeah, and then,
because they scored 1. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you leave
He's down. It
was close. It was a game when he
doesn't leave with the lead,
and they just tore apart that bullpen. And I'm like, that's frightening if you're the Astros, because you know at some point you have to have a bullpen game. And I'm like, okay, cool, we're good. 2-0 lead coming home. You took 2 games on the road against the 2 best starters in the postseason for the most part. Verlander, maybe you could argue, hasn't been.
But then, so the Astros apparently after game 2 had a players-only meeting. And that right there, I probably turned it around for them, to be honest. Like, they came together, and they said, probably just, reiterated, do your job. And just, like, one after the other, hit where you can. Let's get our spots. We're going to get our pitches. We're a bunch of clutch batters. Like, I've kept saying that. In game 3,
and Washington just has had 0 clutch.
Since coming home, Washington batters have shut down. Yep. Soto has had some big hits, absolutely. But, like, last night's hit obviously was pretty meaningless home run. Like, it was, not meaningless.
Might have mattered. We'll get to that.
It made it a little interesting, but they haven't been, like, Rendon hasn't had very...
No.
clutch hits, Trey Turner. Like, they haven't been able to put together
it's just
hits since coming. They've had one run in each game of the last, like, 3 games at home, and that's, like, this is in their own ballpark.
It was over 20 runners they left on base in the games 3 and 4. I don't know what the numbers were yesterday. They didn't have as many base runners yesterday, but it was more than 20 in games 3 and 4. And, like, that was just something they didn't do through, like, the entire Dodgers series, through the Cardinals series, and then even through games 1 and 2 against these guys. They get guys on, they drive them in, and then all of a sudden they get back home.
But one thing I have noticed, though, man, is, like we were saying before, in 1 and 2, the bullpen for the Astros were a little shaky. Now, though, they have come in and been lights
dominant. That's what I mean.
Joe Smith, the most average name. I almost thought that it was like a placeholder name. Like, I looked at it and I was like, is this just a creative player? Like, someone just, randomized
Joe
it.
Players?
Joe Players out there. No, man, he has been, like, he comes in for, like, an inning and a bit, like, and shuts guys out. He's not giving up any runs. He's just getting outs.
Yeah.
Right? Is it Will Harris?
I think so.
Yeah,
he's been good.
Like, he came in last night even.
What's his name? Brad Peacock looked really good.
Yeah, like, they didn't even need Osuna last night because the game got so far out of hand.
Yeah.
And, like, Osuna's been the worst one, almost. You could argue that. Yeah, like, that's where you're least confident sending him out.
He's your closer. Yeah.
But now you're basically taking it off of his hands and saying, look, we're just going to hit our way to being so far ahead that it doesn't matter what you do. The game's already done.
It sucked yesterday, the fact that you don't have Max Scherzer out there. I know they still only scored 1 run, but you can't tell me it's not a hit to your morale a little bit.
No, but I said
waking up thinking, we got we got one of the best starters in the majors going out there, and then all of a sudden it's like, no, he can't play.
So what I heard that it was Ross coming in.
Yeah.
I immediately thought that this is more than just a little neck spasm that is going to keep him out. Because if it's just something that is going to keep you out, especially when you have a day of rest.
He'd pitch. Yeah,
you have a day of rest coming up. Why would you not send out Strasburg? And if you get 3-2, then you have Max to close in for the World Series. Like, this is that's where I thought this could be.
I find it weird that they didn't. I find it weird that they didn't use Strasburg regardless. Because even if Max is hurt, like, that's a really pivotal. That Game 5 is a real pivotal.
But now Game 6 is that much more. If you use Strasburg and you still lose, but there's really no situation where you use him, right? They let Ross go 5 innings, I believe, and give up, like, the 4 runs. All 4 earned. Like, he
and 2 home runs.
Yep, absolutely. And
he pitched well.
They kept.
You gotta give it to him. He did pitch well
but in the World Series, though, that's not pitching well is not good enough anymore. No. Especially when you're going up against Garrett Cole.
Yeah.
Who, yes, I know you're going to argue the umpire. Like, everyone will argue the umpire this, umpire that, which absolutely it's bad, but you can't be in a situation, I guess, to where you're leaving it just solely in the hands of the umpire. And that I think that just gives a nod to how good Garrett Cole is. They're
just handing him calls?
Not handing him calls, but they're so used to him being like that on the line, and then absolutely that moment where, what is it, that 7th inning? Okay, but the 7th inning, right. But the one before that, he had it. Okay, so if we go back, right, the whole setup, I believe, was Rainey went in inning before.
Yeah, we can even go back to the game before, because the plate umps have been bad both ways.
Right.
For a lot of the series, because there was even Anibal Sanchez struck out, was it Correa? Should have struck out, I want to say it was Correa. And they didn't call it. Like, it was down the middle. I don't know what they were missing. And it's not as key of a situation, but it was, at the time, it was like 2-1. They just came off scoring a run in the top half of the inning. You get in, the bottom half of the last inning. Come into the top half of that inning, and Sanchez strikes him out. Would have been the 3rd out. Would have got them out of there without any damage. And they call it a ball. Sanchez gets rattled. He steps up next pitch, rips it into right, scores 1 run. They ended up scoring 2 or 3 in the inning, I think. And it just unraveled from there. It's like, just key moment, garbage call, 2 strikes.
Okay.
So, you have that. And then you go in the next game. And
last night, here's how last night played out. Here's why I think the call went the way they did. So, when Rainey comes in and he throws that pitch, obvious strike, no doubt.
Down the middle.
Doesn't get the call.
Yeah.
Gomes moves. There's a big reaction out of it from everybody, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
As there should be.
Okay, so that moment going forward, as the umpire, you are now questioning yourself from there because everybody in the stadium just said this is a strike.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, the one that curved down the middle, is definitely a strike. Yes.
So then, Garrett Cole comes up. You pretty much have the same play, different location, even though it was out. It wasn't a strike. I completely agree with that.
The one on Zimmerman?
No, the one on
Robles. Well, it started with the one on Zimmerman.
Right, the one on Zimmerman.
That
one's not a strike.
That,
okay, yeah.
That was outside the zone. It wasn't a strike. It's up and out.
Doesn't get called.
Right.
But Maldonado moves like it's one, and Garrett Cole moves like it's one.
Yeah.
So once again, you have another
but
team.
It's just an ego move at that point because you're like, as the umpire, you're like, man, no, you don't get to choose my calls. I choose my calls.
But then what does Garrett Cole do? He says, whatever. He shakes it off, and then at another key moment, he goes back to that same location and faster. He went 98
further
miles.
Outside and
doesn't
higher.
matter though. He said, "You know what? Then I'm coming right back at it," and he cocked it back, and he got the call.
Right, and threw ball 4 again, and
got strike 3 call. It
should not. It's ridiculous, and I think
the
one storyline that's being missed here is like. So Zimmerman gets the call in the first one because he's the vet of the situation. I think.
Okay.
Because he's been around longer than Garrett Cole. Like Garrett Cole's not a rookie. He's not a young guy by any means. He's a veteran in this league. But Zimmerman's just got that accolades over him, so he gets that call. Then you bring in Victor Robles, who's technically a rookie this year. He played last year, but he's a rookie this season. And now you give Garrett Cole the call because he's the veteran.
No, I think you give Garrett Cole the call because you've just had 2 pass blown calls potentially. You're the umpire. You can't see the same replays.
Yeah, one on both sides, so there's no sense in making up a call.
No, but now you're in the same situation, and Garrett Cole, I think being the smart pitcher, goes, I'm going to go right back there because we just argued that location is a baller strike. So now that location going forward is on the fridge. And you know that you're Garrett Cole and that you can probably get a call up there. And yes, it was outside. Think came in 90 inches. Think came in 98 miles an hour, and you just missed the last call there, potentially according to Houston.
But the thing, if I'm not like, there was no consistency from this umpire though, because like if you're calling that one, if you're calling that first one a ball, then the second one was more than clear that it was 2 or 3 inches further outside.
Then you can't leave it though. It does like.
But that's unfortunate. Stay consistent. But
that's
consistent with your strike zone.
That's unfortunate part about baseball.
Is that
then baseball needs to change.
It's garbage. They need
it's not trash.
Do you?
That's part of the game.
Do you think they need to be going to automated strike zone?
No.
Why?
Why is a computer perfect? What makes a computer perfect? Because a human goes and inputs something in a computer that says, "Hey, this is the strike zone." Correct? Okay.
Yes.
So let's say so then this season, with Major League Baseball and everybody's saying there's a lot more home runs.
Right.
So let's see, Major League Baseball wants to see a lot more home runs.
Yeah, maybe. Like, sure, yes, you want to see more home runs.
Our strike zone is going to go like this.
Sure.
Because we want to wind a little more. Give it more that pop for it. Because we've inputted that in our system. And now that is the perfect strike zone because we as humans have put that there. It is not a perfect strike zone though. The automated strike zone will not be perfect. And you also use the ability. Who are you going to turn to and yell at?
No one.
We saw that in the double A. Okay, but then we saw that in the double A.
There's no need to be yelling at someone if it's the right call.
But how is it?
If you know,
no way to say that automated.
Regardless, whether or not it's perfect, at least it's consistent. That's all you ask for at that point is consistency. Because like,
but why
if the strike zone's set up where that pitch on the outside is a ball,
why should a computer dictate what a striker ball is?
So you get the right call, man. It's the one sport where the officials have to make a call on every single play.
So then why don't we do that in hockey then?
Because they don't have to make as many calls.
No, but in every single time there's a penalty or anything else, just a random whistle will blow and the play will stop dead right then and there. You have no reason for having refs on the ice anymore. Why don't we do that for basketball then? Why don't we do that for football? We could literally do it for every sport, but you don't. You don't because that's one, not the way the sport was made, and two, because it's part of the game. The human aspect
every
is
single
part
one
of
of those
game,
sports, you can review any call, pretty much any call.
Okay, so then baseball needs to go back and say that, make it almost like the NHL rule where you can have one challenge, and you can challenge any strike you want, any strike or ball call. Okay,
but there's just way too many situations where.
But in that moment, then you can challenge, and if you win your challenge, you keep it, and if you don't win your challenge and you lose it, and you lose one of your mound visits or a timeout or whatever it is. But then that rule needs to be adjusted, but I don't think that you need to go to an automated computer, because there's nothing saying a computer is perfect. Unless a human is saying that this is the perfect.
It doesn't have to be perfect. I don't expect perfection out of this. I expect consistency.
But who's to say it's going to be consistent from game to game? There's nothing saying that.
It doesn't even have to be consistent game to game. As long as it's consistent in the game, like you know what the strike zone is throughout the day. There's umpires out there that like they'll start with one strike zone and they'll have a completely different one by the end of the game. I hate that. Even last night, like you have, like the game started, he wasn't giving that outside corner. That inning, he didn't give him that outside corner to Ryan Zimmerman. Then all of a sudden you throw into Robles and now you get that outside corner. That you should not have that ever.
It's part of the that is
sure it's part of the game, but it's stupid.
But it's not stupid though.
It's ridiculous.
I don't think that
because
it's ridiculous.
That completely turned the tables of the game because you're in this moment where you get Garrett Cole. You finally score off him. Like, Juan Soto hits that home run. He's unraveling. He walks Ryan Zimmerman. He's still unraveling. He's still unraveling because he walked Victor Robles.
At 100 pitches,
he was humming, but he was not accurate. Okay. He walked Ryan Zimmerman, and then he walked Robles back-to-back, technically. If not officially, but if you're watching the at-bats, he walks Zimmerman, walked Robles. So you have, after a home run, he has 2 straight walks, and now you're sitting with 2 runners on.
But then you go to the automated, let's say you go to this automated umpire, you don't get the Zimmerman call now. Because the automated
still
system,
outside.
Not according to our automated system.
Fine, then you weren't getting that call all day.
System is consistent then?
Fine, then at least I know you're not getting that call all day.
Okay, when else was that call a big
there
burn
were
in
a
the
handful.
That's
what I mean. A lot of them weren't a big moment, but when you put it in this big moment where it put a guy on base in this key inning where you just hit the guy, it's huge. You need to be getting the right call in that moment. And the fact that they screwed it up once, they didn't screw up the Zimmerman call. They got it right, and then they butchered it by giving the Robles call.
Okay, but
you can't have that in key moments like that.
But that is just, it's also, I think that's because of the reality of the situation, because of the different factors of not only, like I said, the past missed pitches, the fact that you're now talking with the catcher, the umpire and catcher are now talking, 2 like almost back-to-back plays for each team happened where one of them was a strike and one of them was a ball, where both catchers walked away and then talked to the umpire. Mm-hmm. It's situational. It doesn't matter. Like, and then Garrett Cole goes back there, and what is he doesn't argue. Garrett Cole says whatever and keeps going. So if you're the umpire right there, and
Garrett
you're the
Cole
only
doesn't
one,
argue. But
you're the only one.
Chirinos didn't shut his mouth.
That wasn't Chirinos.
It wasn't Chirinos behind the plate, or Maldonado was at the time. I thought it was Chirinos at the time. Regardless, whoever it was, he was not quiet, but he turned and said something right away.
Okay, they talked about it.
Right.
And so did Yan Gomes. Yan Gomes turned around and talked about it, which any catcher would.
He did nothing differently.
They did the exact same thing.
You can't tell me you're not arguing when you literally turned around and tell him to talk to him about the pitch.
But you're okay. But if you're arguing,
you're openly, like, straight up showed him up, turned around, and started arguing about it.
Both of them turned around and had a conversation.
Right.
About it. Okay, exactly.
So you had the moment of both. So why did he get this call?
So now you turned around and talked to. But I'm saying then maybe it wasn't an argue. Obviously, it wasn't. If you now have influenced the umpire to give that call,
I think it's ridiculous.
I think it's baseball.
It's a hot button topic, and I get it. A lot of people are against the automated umpires. A lot of people are for it. I don't know if you'll ever please everyone. I don't think
that's the direction you need to go. There's ways within the game that you can adjust that for that moment.
In a sport where there's literally a call to make on every single play, I think you need to be getting at least 90% of them right. And I don't think having human umpires sitting there, I don't think you're getting that percentage of calls right.
You don't feel right now?
I don't feel like, no, I don't think anyone, like, there's not very many umpires who are like, you know what, that guy's got a really good strike.
I think they do now, though, with the ability to challenge.
Like, but yeah, the other calls, yes.
To challenge, and
I think they're getting better on calls in the field.
Replay. Yeah, absolutely.
But there's literally so many opportunities to screw up calls as an umpire behind the plate that it's just, I feel like you need to do something about that. I get it. You bring up every other sport and how you can't do this for every other sport.
But how many calls in hockey do we think that they miss?
Right, but how many calls in hockey are there to be made?
How many calls? Okay, but how many do we miss in key moments?
Does not matter, man.
There is,
but they can review that. You can review them.
Think about Doug Gilmour, man. Wayne Gretzky legitimately
got a penalty, and they've changed it.
They didn't even give nothing.
They've changed it and gone the route of technology. They've literally gone the route of technology because if that call's happened today, you can look at it.
Right. And what I said, though, is that if you wanted to, you could challenge. So, like, on that moment, when Victor Robles strikes out, you come forward and you say, I'm challenging that. The umpires go and say, all right, we're going to go put our little headsets on for 5 minutes, which makes no sense because somebody should literally just be on the phone going, ball. Yeah. Like, that's it. That should be the call. It shouldn't even be that. It should be a fucking pager on his side that just says ball. That's it. Ball or strike.
Yep.
But for some reason, they sit there for 5 minutes looking at nothing, waiting for New York to look at 6 different 4D pictures.
It's stupid.
But do that then. I don't care. Get that call right. You don't need to go to an automated umpire, though. Then leave it in the players, leave it in the managers who think that they're right.
But the difference is, like, every other sport, you're getting significantly less calls than you are in baseball. Baseball, there's a call to be made every play. Yes, there is, dude. Every single thing that happens has to have a call because when there's a pitch, it's either a ball or a strike, or it's in play and the umpire has to make a call on it anyways. Unless it's a home run.
Dude, every single thing that happens in football. No. There's so many things in football. The offensive line is not allowed to move. The wide receivers all have to be at certain points here. The quarterback has to say certain things right here. You have to be listening to that. The defense isn't allowed to move until they hike the ball.
Right, and that's all you have to watch for.
Before the snaps even started.
But that's not a judgment call.
And then there's many players.
There's no judgment there.
There is total judgment there.
No judgment there because it's offside. It's plain as day.
No,
if they move,
it's not plain as day.
It's plain as okay. There's judgment calls on pass interference, which is the exact same as judgment calls on
false starts. There's judgment calls.
No, there's not.
Yes, there is on bang bang plays if they've snapped it very quickly. Absolutely,
it's not the same judgment call. It's not like here's where the strike zone should be. It's like if this guy moves, then it's a flag.
They've said that you've gone and you can challenge the refs calling, which is I think the way that they need to go, and not get rid of the umpires completely because there's nothing saying that.
I'm not saying get rid of all of the umpires. I'm saying get rid of your play dump because it's stupid because they have to make way too many calls.
I think it's necessary. That's what baseball is. Then what like. Get rid of all the umpire. Why just take away one? Why take away one then? What's the point in having any then?
Jobs.
If you can jobs, so you're gonna get rid of one. So one guy out of every crew gets to lose his job because he just happens to be the behind the plate umpire.
But he's not just a plate. Yeah.
But that's it. He loses because his rotation. He's on plate umpire. But no, we've gone to the computer now, so you've lost your job.
Yes, because
now you're losing umpire.
Because now you're getting correct calls. I would rather have correct calls.
So 25%.
If you want to go automated all around, sure.
Have just lost their jobs.
If you want to go all around, sure.
25% automate the whole thing. Umpires. See you later. Have a good one.
Automate the whole thing then. Make it all right.
All of umpires. See you later.
Sure. Why not?
Have a good night.
But why not? Would you not rather have? Would you not rather have the like? You can't.
How is that the perfect?
We're not having this argument if you get the right call.
Who's going to tell the computer what the right call is?
The algorithm that says if this happens, then it's this.
The algorithm?
We did, but we set it based on what the rules are.
So then now though, you can have even more influence from Major League Baseball as a business first,
right?
Who wants to dictate who wins and what they see. So now you're putting more trust in Major League Baseball
now
than you're doing.
You have that more now than you do then. You're telling me
you have that more then. It's just behind the scenes, man. It's just not in your strike zone anymore. It's not in your evidence strike zone right there.
Right, but if you're watching, a game,
is more of a sensitive topic because one, you're a huge Nats fan this series, and you just made you go down.
Does not matter.
2, you're about 1 loss away from a tattoo on your leg, which is gonna be great.
Does not matter.
Totally does.
None of this matters.
It totally does.
You can't look at that call and think that these umps are doing the right thing.
I never said they're doing the right thing.
Right, so you can't tell me that it would be better to have something automated that's consistent the entire game.
I don't think that it's better to have that the whole
Why? You don't want the right call all game?
Right call? Who's said that's the right call? Because we've said that's the right call?
Yes!
Because that's not the right call, though.
Why is it not? To be perfect? Or to be consistent?
I'm saying you don't need to put some automated system behind the plate to get the right call then. If that's... You can have the right call from... having exactly what I said, challenges, because that's really the biggest one.
You shouldn't have to challenge that many.
But the strike 3 calls is the biggest thing, right?
Right.
Okay. So then, guy walks up, goes, I'm going to challenge that, absolutely. Calmly, there's no reason to freak out anymore because you have a challenge. Everyone goes in, okay, you see what it was, perfect.
But how many times is that going to happen a game? A lot.
What do you mean?
Because there's so many there's so many calls in a game. Like
no,
there's at least 4 or 5 that you can think of right now.
1 until you lose it.
So what happens when you use it in the 4th? And it's still a judgment call because you got to look and be like, I don't know, it's close. And then they can still make the wrong call because you've seen guys make the wrong call on replays before.
What, in the NFL?
In the MLB, it's happened. Like even there was a play in the J series I remember distinctly that his foot came off the bag with the tag on, and then he came back, and they still called him safe. And then there was the home run against Kansas City in that same playoff series where Buddy reached over the wall. They reviewed it and said he was still behind the wall. Like, it happens. Like, they miss calls on replay all the time. So you're now going to this...
Are there any proven stats right now, because AA has had it, all year? Or isn't it AA? Or high A?
I don't think it's...
whichever A it is, whichever class it is.
I don't even think it's in their minors. It's not even in their minors. I think it's in their, what do you call it?
Okay, but the fact that I haven't heard of any sort of above and beyond stats proving why this system...
Because this is the first season they've done it. There's no...
Okay, but then you would still have... You've had a full season already. So you can compare to last season where you didn't have it soon. You can compare to last season where you didn't have it. And you should be collecting all of this data along the way.
You are. And now you're going to compile it at the end. That's a lot of data to compile, right now, man. That's an entire season. Why isn't it coming out to show... But you should have some sort of, little sample data then even. That's where it should be. I think we'll see. I think we'll see in the next few years, because if they're pulling it in now, I think it's the Atlantic League. It's not one of their minor leagues. Okay. It's like a overseas. Let's test it out over here, see if we can bring it over to the majors. And I think if you start to see it come over, you'll realize, you'll see the success of it. You won't know until they start bringing it over, and we don't really have that data. I don't think we'll get access to that data, because we're not important and we don't really matter, despite how important we think we are.
We're pretty important.
I like to think we are, but you won't know until they bring it over here and they start implementing it in the minors and bring it to the majors. I think if they do that, then I think they clearly see an upside to it. Which, at that point it's tough to argue, because they'll have the data in place from these other leagues that can be like, yeah, look, this is what it did for our league. This happened, we made this, blah blah blah. And if you start to see that implemented, then it's tough to disagree with that. I haven't heard anything within a full year. And I don't think we will of it, realistically.
And I don't see where that is going to be the make or break on, especially in this, I guess even in this series though. If you have, so he gets ball 4 there.
Okay.
Who's up afterwards?
Jan Gomes, who singled off of him in the next inning. This is my thing too. It's okay, yeah, so maybe Jan Gomes steps up and doesn't do anything. I'm like, let's see what he does in his next at-bat.
Right.
His next at-bat rips one up the middle
to the right a little bit. You score that run. You're playing the what-if game, and you need a lot of things to go right. And even if you're Washington, you can look to earlier on in the game when you couldn't get hits together. So don't leave it in the...
No, don't get me wrong. The Nats were not in that game, and they should have been better.
You cannot leave it up to the refs. Everybody says it. It's the same thing UFC. You can't leave it up to the judges. Right? It's always you cannot leave it in the hands of the referees. The referees are not
No, I get that. The Nats should have been in a better situation to win that game. Right. I'm not disagreeing with that. They were horrible.
That it was very clutch moments. I'm absolutely sure that MLB will come in and say, look, this is what we need to change.
They never do, man.
But they are showing adjustment. The fact that replays come in, did you ever think that MLB would have replay? Or that sports would be relying so heavily on replay now and going upstairs? They're showing their ability to adapt, but they're also showing they're standing still. We are this organization and we have a set of rules, right? It's the same thing for me for NHL, why they won't get rid of the shootout. Shootout's stupid. Have 10 minutes of 5 or 3 on 3.
It's a joke. I don't
fucking ended in a tie after that. I don't care.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
If we can't get 2 goals, if we can't get a goal after 10 minutes, then you deserve a tie.
Someone made a real good suggestion about that. They're like, I forget who it was, but they're like, do 10 minutes of 3 on 3. And if nobody wins, then no one gets a point.
Right, perfect.
Because then
done.
You have to try and play for something. Right?
Yeah,
I like that.
You're the best team. You're tied that night.
Yeah, I like it.
But they're going towards replay, absolutely. But they still want that human element in the game, right? It adds a bit to it. I get it that if in that situation you can't have it that badly, and I'm sure that dude will probably never see a World Series, but that dude will probably see it every World Series again.
Angel Hernandez is still an umpire, and that guy's been horrible.
I understand that.
It's like they don't.
Do you see him in the World Series now?
You might. Wasn't he there? Was it last year that he was there because he had the grievance?
Right, but not this year.
No, he's horrible.
Right,
but they don't they never. I can't think of the word, but they don't do anything about their umpires being bad. Kinda. That's not what I'm looking for, but they're never holding them accountable is what I'm looking for. Okay, they don't hold their umpires accountable for their actions ever. Because even still, that guy still, you're not going to hear anything about them reprimanding him. It's like they never.
Okay, but Dave Martinez even came out and said we can't I have nothing bad to say against the umpire. I was like, yes,
you have to say that, man.
You don't have to, man. You're one win away from losing the the World Series.
Yeah, so that's not, the umps aren't your worry at that point. Your worry is like, man, we got to come out game 6 and be a different team. Yes, but like, I don't know, man. Like, there needs to be some sort of accountability for these guys that are making these key moment calls.
But
honestly,
I get it. It's a bigger moment. It's not like the moment.
No,
there's still tons of baseball left.
Yep.
At that point,
all of this for me is springing from. I watched an episode of. Did you end up watching that episode of the what's his name? Pat McAfee show?
Not yet. No.
Okay, so he does this interview with Donaghy. What the hell is his first name? I texted it to you. I forget his first name. I think it was Phil Donaghy, but he was an NBA ref that he was caught with rigging games to help win bets for the mob, essentially. And so he was saying in his interview, he's like, the NBA would contact me and be like, hey, listen, we need this team to do well because we want more games, because we need more money from revenue. So I watched teams like the Astros who have all these superstars, and then you see some of the calls made, and I'm like, oh, like it's a thing.
I think that's such.
And they get up 2-0 in the series, and then all of a sudden it's like flip. Here we go. The Astros are getting calls, and I'm like, okay.
What do you mean
they've been getting calls all series.
No, they've been getting home runs now.
Yeah, because they're in at bats longer because you get these calls. It's like
they're getting home runs because they're just seeing the ball better. They're hitting better. They're taking advantage of Nationals' mistakes.
They're not.
And then the Nationals' shaky bullpen.
Dude, don't give me... That is the most played out argument I've ever heard. Their bullpen hasn't been bad until Game 4 of this series.
Right now.
They've had one of the better bullpens in the postseason until Game 4 of this series.
I get that, but right now, though...
So it's a stupid played out argument that it's like... It shouldn't get to that point. This is what I'm saying.
But now they're here, and they're not even able to keep it within, like, 3-run games, right? Like, what has it been? 8-1, 7-1 the last 2 games now?
Yeah.
Like, that's bad.
Game 4, they didn't even go with any of their actual bullpen guys. Right. They went with, like, tier 2 bullpen guys. So, I mean, like, I just hate the argument of, like, oh, their bullpen sucks. It's like, no, their bullpen as a whole sucks, but their bullpen for the postseason's been incredible.
I get that, but you haven't seen... Because Patrick Corbin's been their bullpen, and you couldn't
but then Doolittle's been unreal. Hudson's been unreal until last night.
Yeah, Hudson gave up a really...
Bad home run. Not good. And then... Rainey's been really good. Rodney's been okay. Like, he's been good. I don't know.
But
I think it's a stupid argument.
Astros have been better.
Enough about the past of what's been going on. We're going to argue about this for hours. So there's no point. Game 6 tomorrow. You have...
That's got to be it, because I said...
Yeah, that's your prediction,
6,
eh?
Yeah, man.
Nick had Astros in 6 too.
No,
right?
he had him 5, I think. 5 or 6.
So he already lost.
He's 5. He could be, if we give him the or, I guess.
I think he said 5, because I remember him saying that the World Series should be done by the time we hit this episode for him to be right. Sorry, Nick.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. So, Game 6 tomorrow, you have Strasburg for the Nats and Verlander for the Astros.
Yep.
Who has the advantage for you? I know you're going to say the Astros, but
take
a step back, and who do you think has the advantage?
It depends. Okay, for me though, what's the biggest question though is which Verlander am I gonna get? Because Verlander right now has been first inning terrible. Mm-hmm. Not terrible, but I guess he's given up that mistake. That's been the one that they can't.
Got a 4.35 ERA.
Right, but they can't come back from that first mistake, and that's where you can't have that right now.
Yeah.
But which Verlander am I going to see? Because then he usually sits down the next 20 X amount of batters, right? So if you see that kind of Verlander out there, then the Nationals are done. I think losing Scherzer for potentially the whole series might have just taken it out of them. Losing 3 games in a row, especially at home, definitely takes it out of you, right? Like we saw that with the Astros, and I think that they definitely lost a little bit of that swagger going into Game 3, and that's where the Nationals really needed to clamp down, and unfortunately it didn't, and now they let it slide, right? It's crazy how momentum will work. Mm-hmm. But I think that I like that Strasburg's going out there, and I hope that he comes in kind of knowing that, look, this could be, the game we need, right? This is, obviously you play it is their last game. But yeah, absolutely. So that's where I think you're going to come out with the best Strasburg that he's been, but I'm more worried about like I said, like Verlander, and then it's because then it's Brandon, it's Soto, it's Turner, it's which one of those three are you getting, right? Like, are you getting the ones that you've seen? Like Soto hit a bomb last night, absolutely, but like it's a 4-0 game, and you make it a little interesting, right? So like
Yeah.
And then it's not as big of a deal, right? Because Soto hits it.
Yep.
Then that inning's a lot more interesting, and then that all this happens, and now that's your focal point on it, right? That's where everyone's focused on. But it doesn't matter the fact that not even an inning before that we're already on to Game 6.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I hope that at some point you see Scherzer. I hope this isn't as bad.
No, I mean I'd hate to see him end his season on that.
Yeah.
Like not being able to pitch in the postseason, in the World Series when it matters the most because you woke up and all of a sudden your back's in.
I just think Astros they're right there, man. They took those 3 games.
I kind of give like I don't think anyone has the advantage right now because they took 3 in Washington,
right?
So that like obviously that swings it in their favor. But, like, if you're the Nats, you're like, yeah, well, we took 2 in Houston, so it's not a big deal to win on the road.
You've done it before, no.
We've beat Verlander already. Verlander hasn't really been that good in the postseason.
The thing was that you took, like, you had Scherzer take 1.
Mm-hmm.
And then
you had Strasburg take the other.
So
you're back to that matchup of Strasburg-Verlander. It's like, we won this matchup before. We can do it again. We're on the road where we had success before. So, like, I think both teams are feeling, I don't know about good
I just don't want them to feel the stress of, like, going to Game 7 without knowing who they're gonna be, like who's going on the mound, right? Like that.
I don't think you worry about Game 7 if you're the Nats.
Right now you can't. Right now you have to worry about Game 6. Yeah,
we'll figure out Game 7 if we get there. So it's not like, oh shit, we don't have Scherzer. What are we gonna do? It's right now we have Strasburg, and Strasburg needs to go out there and pitch a gem. We need to see if we can get to Verlander early because that's what's happened to him all postseason. Excuse me, and. You gotta hope. Dude. Like it's gonna be a tough battle.
I'm looking at. So I took a picture of these stats for Joe Smith and Will Harris, and they've just been. And that's where I think the separation is. Is just that
they're good, but there's only so many times you can face the same team without getting figured out. And I think you saw a little bit of Joe Smith yesterday. You got a couple hits against him, I think, last night.
But at Will least Harris came out and nothing.
I know, but like you can only throw the same reliever so many times. I think Joe Smith's pitched in at least 3 or 4 this series. Am I wrong?
But they're gonna have a day of rest. You have this.
I don't care about rest. I don't care about rest. You've now seen Joe Smith 4 times in 5 days.
Right.
6 days. Whatever it is. If you're gonna see him again. Like
but I just confidence.
There's just so many times. Like it happened with the Yankees too, right? Their bullpen started getting lit up because everyone saw them so many times. So I think you see them this many times. Eventually, that weapon isn't going to be what it was, and I don't look at this bullpen thinking, their bullpen's doing this. I know, I get that, but they've all pitched a lot.
Osuna could come in really a non-save situation if you get a big enough.
Sure.
Like because you have the people that can be there to go
I don't care. I honestly don't care about their bullpen. That's not where this game sits for me.
I'm also interested to see for catcher because they have 2 catchers like Maldonado and Trinos. Defensively, I believe are about the same.
Yep.
I don't know if you.
I think they go to Maldonado again, but
right. But like Trinos has been hitting clutch, like Game 3 and Game 4. He hit back-to-back home in those games, and they were big home runs, man. They put that game out, especially when the Nats are getting only 1 run.
Yep.
Like that's it. Like that is tough if you're the Nationals for used to getting like huge runs, and even especially Game 2, you got 8 runs there, or more than was it 8? Yeah.
In
8-1? Yeah. I think, and then like you're going home, you're at an all-time high, and then you just get slapped around. You get 3 runs in all 3 games. That's it.
Yeah.
Like that. I don't know. Just I'm thinking momentum though, and confidence is on the Houston side. Yeah, and especially going home to that. And
I don't know about confidence, but momentum for sure.
But I meant confidence from top of lineup to bottom of lineup.
Yeah, I think their hitters are more confident now than they were when they left Houston.
Yeah, like if Alvarez is who you start out there now, or even like because Reddick has still been proven to hit in moments, right? Yep. That's why he wears Mr. Irrelevant on the player day. That's his name as Mr. Irrelevant because he knows, man. Nobody cares about Josh Reddick, but he just does. Like he happens to be there when you need him to be there, right? You need that catch out in right field. He's catching it.
Yeah.
You need that hit for some reason. Josh Reddick's up there and he just hits it, and then he just, you know what I mean? But then you have Alvarez, and you have Brantley, who's there.
They're good. Like, don't get me wrong, the hitters are doing well. I just think where this game is won and lost is whether Verlander shows up and looks like Verlander, or he looks like.
But he's always looked like Verlander. It's just he hasn't. The starts haven't looked like Verlander. No, absolutely. Because you give up like 2 or 3. He's given up 2 or 3 runs, absolutely, and
that's a lot. Like if you give up that many runs,
but the Nats haven't scored more than 1 in the last 3 games.
If you have Strasburg on the mound, man, like you don't need a whole lot more.
But Strasburg isn't going 9 innings. So that's
tell him no. It's his last start of the year.
I'm aware.
If he's humming and he hasn't given up any runs, he'll go 140 pitches.
But if you're
like,
smart,
who's going to tell him no?
They tell him no.
Why?
Because
why would you tell him no?
No pitcher's going to do 140 pitches.
Madison Bumgarner.
Let's be realistic.
Madison Bumgarner. This is your Madison Bumgarner moment where you need
140 pitches.
But he went 100 and something. Right. And then he pitched 2 days later.
Dude, Garrett Cole got to 104 pitches by like the 7th.
But Garrett Cole doesn't throw that many. Garrett Cole's like he set his career high in the postseason at like 116. Like he never throws that many pitches.
But he,
regardless, if you're the guy, if you're the guy in the mound, there's no limit. If you're still humming in the 7th, then you're going to keep on going until your arm falls off.
That's a really big
it's
big
the World Series.
I get that though. But that's a lot of things to go right. That means that you have to you're seeing that order like minimum 3 times through.
Yep.
There's also no there's a DH spot now. There's no pitcher. Okay. You don't get a break.
That's fine. He's got the stuff, man. He's got a career.
I know, but they've got the stuff.
His postseason ERA.
Look at this lineup right here. I'm sorry, we're just staring at the Houston Astros lineup.
Yeah,
Look
they're
at that
good.
thing.
That's
they're
not the point.
And they're
good pitching
together,
beats
man.
good hitting every day.
Yuli has been very clutch. Not only
I don't give a shit about their lineup. Good pitching beats good hitting.
You need to.
Good pitching beats good hitting every game. And if Strasburg shows up and is Steven Strasburg, he can go 9 innings and he can shut down that lineup. That's not my issue. My issue is whether or not Justin Verlander shows up and pitches like Justin Verlander. If he doesn't do that, then the Nats have a serious chance to take this game. That's it. That's all there is to it. It all relies on Justin Verlander. I don't give a shit about how good Houston's lineup has been because it doesn't matter when you go up against a guy like Strasburg.
But I think you need Rendon, you need Soto, and you need Turner.
You just need a run. You need runs. It doesn't matter who it comes from. I don't care who steps up.
Look at their last 3 games.
I don't care.
You don't care about their last 3 games. The fact they've got one or 2 hits
I don't need my big guys to step up any more than they have. You need guys...
Yes,
you need 1 through 9 to hit the ball.
No.
I don't care if there's a hero. I don't give a shit. You need 1 through 9 to hit the ball. And that's what they did for 2 rounds, and that's what they did in game 1 and 2. It wasn't Rendon and Soto stepping up and carrying the load. It was 1 through 9. They got hits. Howie Kendrick was the NLCS MVP. Ryan Zimmerman hit a 3-run home run in the game 1 of this one. Like, they have different guys step up and hit for them. That's what you need. You need 1 through 9 to step up and put the ball in play. Because they haven't been doing it and they need to start. You need that, and you need Verlander. You need to see if Verlander can show up. That's it.
I think Verlander's shown up, and this is game 6.
Okay.
He's been here.
Then if he does, great, they win the World Series. But that is where this thing lies. It has nothing to do with the bullpen. Has nothing to do with the Astros hitters. For me, it's everything to do with Justin Verlander and whether or not he can show up and pitch.
I don't really have a question on him. I think mine's more on the Nats.
The 4.35 ERA is a question mark for you.
Dude,
1 and 3.
I completely have acknowledged that the first inning, he has sucked.
Sure, he hasn't had a win since the first game of the race series.
But there was after that one of his first outings, one of the outings where he gave up a lot in the first inning. He sat down the last 21 of 22.
Doesn't matter. Lost the game.
But I'm not worried about Justin Verlander.
Doesn't matter. Lost the game.
Because what happened?
He has
the Astros
1 win, and it was his first.
Because the Astros bats were not there. Astros bats are here now, man.
Yeah,
Astros bats have come alive.
And they're going up against
against
the second best pitcher in the postseason this year.
Okay, but they're
statistically,
going up,
he's the second best pitcher in the postseason,
right? And
behind Garrett Cole.
But the Nats are going up against the best pitcher in Major League Baseball.
Not this month.
Okay, not this month.
What have you done for me lately, man? It has not. I don't care.
It's the best pitcher, though. You can't downgrade that he's been the best pitcher all year. Garrett Cole had a bad first game too, and look at what he just came back with.
Bad. He didn't have. He had 1 bad game. He also had a 15 strikeout performance against the Rays and a 14 strikeout performance against the Rays, and I think he had 12 against the Yankees.
Right, but what I'm saying is,
what has Verlander done?
But he had a bad first game, and now, so Verlander's coming out with even more to prove. Then you just have a pissed off Justin Verlander. Great, good job, congrats. It's like a pissed off Max.
Right, you had a pissed off Justin Verlander after the Rays game, and he took a loss. You had a pissed off Justin Verlander in Game 2, and he took a loss.
Okay, great.
Like, I don't give a shit about I don't give a shit about how pissed off Justin Verlander.
You've already counted him out, and that's exactly why they're probably going to lose the World Series. That you've counted out Justin Verlander already. The Nats bats are the biggest question mark right now because for the last 3 games at home, they have disappeared until the game is out of reach, until it's completely out of hand. That is my biggest question mark. Justin Verlander will be just fine. He'll pitch just like Justin Verlander. He may give up a run or two. Absolutely. I'm not debating that. The Nats have some good bats when they've been known to hit. But where the difference is now from game 1 and 2 to here is the Astros are hitting way better now. And the Astros are hitting with runners in scoring position early in the game to give themselves the lead.
Don't give me that.
Where they're hitting from behind.
No shit, they're hitting better now. They face Max Scherzer and Steven Strasburg in game 1 and 2. You're not going to hit those guys. Now you're going up against Anibal Sanchez, who, despite being great through 2 starts, he's still Anibal Sanchez. He's not Scherzer or Strasburg.
Okay.
Had a tough start. Yeah, sure, you hit him. Great. Then you had Patrick Corbin, who's been a reliever, and he probably was a little tired for that game.
Okay.
You hit him. Fine. And then you have Joe Ross.
Okay.
That's 3. Yes, you should be hitting those guys well if you're this team.
So now
you're back to having an ace. Let's see how they do.
But now you're game 6. There's way more on the line. Who's to say that Strasburg is completely shut down in this situation? He's never been here, man. This is the biggest stage this man has ever been on. The biggest stage this man has ever been on.
He pitched the clinching game in...
He's never been here. He has never been here. You're trying to compare this to the Dodgers series?
Yes.
Really? You're going to say this is the same. This is not the fucking same thing. Oh my god, you can't. This is the World Series. This is the World Series. This is the biggest game. No. Nobody cares about the season if you don't win the last game.
Okay, you're not Billy Bean.
But that means everything right there. No. Nobody cares how you do in the season if you don't win the game.
You go out and do your job.
It's not that different.
You go out and do your job.
Okay.
That's it.
No.
That's it.
This is the World Series.
Does not matter. You go out and do your
final game. This is everything right here. This may as well be Game 7 for the Nationals. This is do or die. Like
when it was Game 5 against the Dodgers, it's the same thing. It's do or die.
It is not the
You're
same
going
thing.
out
this
there to do your job.
This is the World Series. This
You're going out there to do your job, man.
It doesn't matter though.
And it's either you win and continue, or you lose and you go home.
So he came up for
it's the exact same spot he was in against the Dodgers.
He came up for the game clincher against the Dodgers. Who was winning? The Nats.
No.
Who's winning now? The game clincher against the Dodgers and they're not winning? Are you fucking kidding me?
Was it Scherzer start or was it Strasburg start? It was Strasburg.
But what you said he came up for the clincher against the Dodgers, which means they were winning.
No, he pitched the game against the Dodgers.
Who is winning this series right now?
Does not matter. It was Game 5. It was more do or die.
Doesn't matter about the World Series. Doesn't matter who's winning.
It was do or die in this.
It was more
do or die in Game 5.
He's coming from behind. No, they are coming. They are playing from behind right now. They cannot. You lose, you go home. There's no other.
You're wrong.
No other. I'm not wrong about it. The World Series adds a different kind of pressure.
Okay, fine.
He's still the best pitcher on the mound. Strasburg pitched the game clinching game, correct?
Yes.
Against the Dodgers.
Yes, I think.
So the Nationals were up in the series.
No, it was tied.
Okay, but anyways,
it was 5-5. Okay. It was a do or die game, regardless. Same situation. Does not matter.
No,
it's overblown. These guys have played in clutch moments their entire life. It's overblown. It's the stupidest argument I've heard from everyone. It's another game. You go out there, you do your job. The pressure's not even on you. You're not even at home. You don't have your crowd. It doesn't matter. Go out there, do your job. That's it.
It's a different element.
That's it.
It's completely different. It's not.
It is. You go out there, you do your job. That's it.
Not true.
Move on because we were just gonna argue about it the entire time. Who do you have taking Game 6?
I said this from the beginning.
Who do you? Yeah, I guess you kind of have to.
I have to. I stuck with it from the very beginning.
I take the Nats in Game 6. I think, unless they have Scherzer going in Game 7, I don't think they take Game 7.
No, that's it.
That's the
handed the series.
Yeah, you need to get Strasburg. If you get the win out of Strasburg, you better hope Scherzer's back. If not, then I think you're just prolonging it at that point, and you're gonna lose it anyways. So
it's also a shitty thought to have that thing.
Yeah, I get that, but that's not. I don't think that's their mindset. I think their mindset is we're going out there to win with Strasburg.
Oh, well, you can't have that mindset now. You're Game 6.
No, exactly. Moving on from the World Series then a little bit. Same team in the World Series, but the Astros finally fired their assistant GM after over a week in that situation. And I'm like, you knew what happened from the beginning.
Did they?
They did.
You gotta collect all your stuff
They just handled it so badly.
Look, are they union protected? Because here's the thing.
No.
Union is a real beast.
I don't think they are.
Okay.
But
well, if they're not, though, you can't just fire somebody without having, like, legitimately cold, hard facts. I know, it sucks.
You had them.
I know, it sucks.
You had multiple people.
Right.
The problem for me wasn't, like, you know what? It wasn't the fact that they didn't fire him right away. It's the fact that they defended him right away, as opposed to we're going to collect everything and see where it goes. It was instant defense of this guy did nothing wrong. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Right, but nobody cares now. I'm sorry.
Nobody cares?
I'm sorry to say now they're about to win a World Series.
Nobody cares in Houston, but everyone cares outside of Houston.
Right, but they came
That's
out.
not
They
the point.
apologized. Okay, but they came out. They apologized.
That does not mean shit. That does not mean shit. It was a week later.
Does.
You apologize for lying to straight up about the girl.
Dude, I don't hear actually many people talking about it right now, though. I don't see many things on the sports reels about it right now.
Are you paying attention?
I've been watching this whole thing.
Yes, they don't show it on Sportsnet all the time. It's been a consistent story. It's been a consistent story in baseball, like huge. Like not even across. It's been a consistent story across all of baseball.
But what I'm saying is, it's going to be washed over in about a week.
It's not.
It will be washed over.
It's not something that just walks away because the Astros have been.
I'm sorry to break it to you, but this is something that's going to be washed over in a week. The same way that everyone's just let.
It's going to be for Astros.
The same way that everybody let.
Yes, they let him pitch, but it's not. The story's not going away.
Okay, but it doesn't matter.
It's been
there's a little asterisk beside it.
Do you know how many people have lost respect in this team because of what they've done?
Okay, and then players will leave whenever they can, but like they still have next year's salary is still $200 million on their payroll. So I mean, they still got a bunch of guys already signed in. You're gonna lose Garrett Cole, which you probably already were anyways.
I'm not worried about the players here. It's more like this league is turning on the Astros real quick.
Okay, and yet they're still here right now, and that's all they're going to focus on.
Fine, but this story does not get washed away. It's not something that you're like, we won a World Series, don't worry about what we do.
Unfortunately, it will be. Not that it'll be washed away, it'll be overshadowed. It will be...
Sure, for
there
now.
Will be more than... Yeah, but that's what...
In the near future, yes.
That's what happens.
I'll give you that. Once they win for the first week or so, it'll be like, yay... But
unfortunately, you won't hear about
the
that
issues
again,
behind
this sports work. No, this is sports, man. They don't want that. Why would sports want that as their headlining...
They don't. That's why it's going to be an issue, is because people aren't going to let this go.
You aren't going to let this go. I know that.
Because I'm not the only one, man. The only ones that are trying to let this go are the Astros.
Okay.
Because if you're the MLB, you don't want this look on your thing. I get it. You're going to try and hide the story, but you can't control that.
But what are you going to do from here? What's your action? They've already fired the guy. They've already released a statement. So what's next?
Dude, their statement's a joke.
It doesn't matter. What's next? Tell me.
You need to clear house on that fucking...
What do you mean you need to clear house? Who's going to step in and clean house? They already did clean house.
The league, dude. No, they did not. They fired their assistant GM, the guy that made the statement.
Okay, great.
He's not the main issue. He made the statement. He's not the issue.
That's to them cleaning house, and that to the MLB is enough done of your due diligence of, okay, you got rid of the guy that made the comment.
No.
And you've released a statement.
That would have been the thing if they didn't defend him the entire time, because now he's not the only issue. The issue is you were defending this guy who was defending a known domestic abuser. He straight up said the girl lied.
That she lied.
He literally said, yeah, this story that was publicated isn't true. He never said anything of the sorts. This and that. He's going on about how great of a guy this Brandon Taubman guy is. Not true. Straight up lied to defend this guy that said the things he said and openly admitted to it literally the day after they made that statement. And they waited until now, 5 days after that statement, to apologize.
I still haven't seen this.
Which one?
The article.
Then you haven't been paying attention, because it's been around. They literally posted it. They posted the statement the day before he made his statement, which was literally 5 days ago. Okay. And the story is still a headline. Like, don't tell me it's going away.
I will scroll through this headline right here, and I will show you there is no headline on it.
Okay.
Like, we can go through all of the top news.
Don't give me the score. The score's trash.
I will go to MLB then. That's fine, man. I'm just saying to you.
It's not going anywhere.
Unfortunately, it will.
No, it's not.
I hate to break it to you, man,
it's been a week, and it's still an issue. So tell me when it goes away.
Okay, it's been a week because... They first came forward, and you're saying that he said that he lied about it, okay, and they tried to cover it up, and then the truth came out, and they fired the guy, and they released a statement. Okay, so now that all that's done, You haven't come forward and said what's next. You're saying clean house, which is never going to happen because that's unrealistic. No organization in the history has ever cleaned house on one man making one comment.
It was not okay.
Okay, but making a comment, a stupid comment in a day.
Literally happened 2 days ago, and it's still on the thing. Took me
absolutely. Okay,
took me 15 seconds to scroll through.
You ramble on here.
Took me 15 seconds to scroll through and find this story.
Right,
it's not going away.
But just read through, talk through this, and I'll be reading through.
That's not. That's just about him getting fired. That's not about the whole situation.
But that's what I'm saying. We're in the whole situation. I want to see the actual word for word.
I'll pull it up for you after because we're getting a little long. But I'm. It's not. I don't think it's going. I'm pretty sure
though. Like they came, but this is the thing. They said they got rid of him. They've come forward with a public statement now.
Right, but okay, no. This is the thing. Like yes,
they've come, done. That's it. That's Major League Baseball satisfied right there. Unfortunately, it is. Yes,
it's not.
Unfortunately,
it's
is.
not, man. You're
not. Maybe the world will not be.
Right,
absolutely, and they will cause a bit. Dude. Not enough to actually cause anything. Okay, we can come back to this, and we'll put a check mark on this. We'll come back to this in a month if you'd like.
Moving on.
I don't think this.
We have like 2 more things to get to. One of them I just want to breeze through real quick. The Pirates fired their GM today, which I don't even have his name in front of me. I had it and I lost it.
That means it's really important name.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a good move because the Pirates have been fucking Neal Huntington. That's what it was. And I think it's a great move for the Pirates because like that GM has just trashed this team recently.
Is there like a lot of like people available this year? It seems like a lot of firings are just.
There's a couple more things to get through too. This is what I'm saying. But like you take a look at what they've done. Like to bring in Chris Archer, they had to get rid of Austin Meadows and what's his name, Tyler Glasnow, who were the 2 key pieces of the Rays this year. And yeah, goodbye, good riddance.
That's a really bad move.
Yeah, can't wait till we get an actual GM in Pittsburgh. Thank you.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Chris Archer, nice.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Who had a 5 ERA this year?
Yeah, I was gonna say he was pretty awful.
Yep. Great. The Philadelphia Phillies signed Joe Girardi.
Okay.
I think it's a big move. Obviously,
like a big name move, or just like
I think you needed a fresh face. I think Joe Girardi's a known winner. Like he's won with the Yankees for years.
There's so many more question marks on that
there
team.
Are
going
still
to get Joe Girardi.
I think the biggest question. I think there's one question mark, and I think it's their pitching staff.
That's,
I don't think there's a ton. I think that lineup is one of the most deadly in the MLB.
Do you think Joe Girardi helps that pitching staff?
I don't know.
Or helps get.
I honestly don't. He probably helps bring names to your organization because it's Joe Girardi, and you want to play for Joe Girardi. Guys wanted to play for him in New York. You saw how many names New York brought in doing the same thing. Like it's like we have Joe Girardi. He brings in names. I think it's a huge move. I think he's the best manager that was on the block. He's better than Joe Madden. I think that was the move to make. I don't think Joe Madden's a guy. But
Joe Madden's already.
Yeah, but like you had the chance at that time, right?
Yeah.
And I think you brought in the best possible candidate for your team on a team that should be a playoff team. And if they bring in a pitching staff, they're a contender for the World Series. I think, anyways. You might disagree.
I mean, I think I have to see how that offseason goes and because it just seems like that division is now like right. I don't think Washington will take a step back from this.
No, they're not losing anybody
next year. No, right, and then I think they might even gain.
Yeah,
like so that's a bit scary, right?
Yeah.
So I think there's just I kind of have to see how that goes and what actually Girardi's name and even like Harper's name, I guess, being there and Hoskins' name, like what those guys can bring in. I'm pretty sure Arrieta's staying as well. Arrieta's not going to opt out, which is a little rough.
Kind of sucks it for the Phillies.
Right? But maybe, if you bring in Kawams and his role is a little less.
If Jake Arrieta's your 4 or 5 guy, you like that.
Yeah, hopefully. It depends. Like,
if he's
I
your
don't know
C.C.
which
Sabathia, then you like that. But if he's your...
You like that.
Like if you manage, like if you can go out there and you can bring in Garrett Cole and you bring in any other name that's on the block right now and you have Garrett Cole.
Garrett Cole's going. I know.
Why not? If they pay him,
he's either staying in Houston or he's going to the Yankees.
I don't know, man. You offer the guy enough money, he'll come. He's got Scott Boras' agent. If you offer him enough money, he'll show up.
And the Yankees will.
Yeah, but the Phillies can do it too.
Man. I guess, but yeah, that's
it. They're either way. If they bring in a guy like Garrett Cole and they bring in, let's just say Hyun-Jin Ryu for fun because he's a free agent,
Like, you bring in 2 of them, and then your starting 3 is Cole, Ryu, and Nola. And then you fill that out with Jake Arrieta as your 4 guy. I'm like, that's a disgusting rotation.
Right. Even if you just bring in Cole to have Cole Nola, like, that's...
Yeah. Cole Nola is your 1-2 is like,
that's wow.
Yep. And then Jake Arrieta is your 4-5 somewhere in there. I don't hate that. Jake Arrieta used to be a dominant starter in the MLB. He's still got good stuff. It's not great anymore, but he's got good stuff.
Won a World Series.
Yeah, he did, right? Yeah. He won it with Chicago.
Yep.
Did we talk about David Ross? We didn't.
No, David Ross, I like that, actually.
I really like that.
Because, you know what, though? I think part of that's almost like... what is it? Oh, like from being a Raptors fan, I enjoyed when they hired Nick Nurse. Because it's almost like you have somebody that had a system. Yeah, like this is a successful system. Yep. This is something that we've grown in-house and we know that works, right? David Ross.
They know winning baseball.
Yeah, obviously. And David Ross is like, he managed, even when he was the catcher in that World Series, like he was fucking managing that game. I don't even think Madden was like aware of what was going on, except to just yell at people. That was it. Like, Ross was there. He's probably talking to everybody, managing everything, right? It just made it look super easy. So I completely agree with that move right there. You keep them in house. It doesn't really change like any of the dynamic between, like, you know what I mean. All your stars at least like him, right? He's a likable guy. Yeah,
they loved him because the thing for me is that entire core was there when they won that World Series,
and they're still going to be there. Yeah, and I think that morale comes up now. It changes a little bit of that. Yeah, that dynamic. I think now you can even bring in other, because David Ross, he traveled a bit around the league, eh?
He's been around. He played for the Dodgers, Pittsburgh, Padres, Reds, Red Sox, Braves, Red Sox again, and then to the Cubs.
Okay, so man's been around. Been around the block, right? So that right there, like he knows some people. Like he could probably even get you some good signings your way too.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. He's still, like, a lot of the good veteran guys he's played with. Yeah. And he helped them throughout their career, and he brought them to where they are. So, I mean, if you see that, I mean...
Yeah, I think it'll be a good move. I don't know how much success you'll maybe see, like, off the hop. I don't want to expect that, you know what I mean?
That team's going to be good regardless, right?
Yeah, but they're also in a bit of a division.
Yeah. Oh, it's a tough division.
Right.
He's got 2 World Series rings, and I think that's huge.
That brings a lot, yeah.
Like,
to have 2 World Series runs,
known winner on the Cubs. It's good. I like it.
Yeah. No, I have nothing bad to say about that one at all. I think we can agree for the first time in this episode.
That's the first time in this podcast that we've agreed. If you're still listening,
an hour agreed.
It might be a little
we
less
might have
than
to end it there, yeah.
We should probably end on a positive.
We're just going to end it on the fact that we agreed right there. You heard it here. That could have been a first.
Finally, thank you for listening to the entire thing to get to the point where we finally agree on something.
Yes.
Doesn't happen
link
often.
that in the bio, I guess.
Just
the
like
description.
We'll put it there and be
we
like,
agreed.
Hey, look what we did. Took us 2 years of friendship to hit that point.
That's sports. That's why we're here.
Yeah. We'll yell at each other all day. It doesn't make a difference.
Even when the camera's off, just wait.
Yeah, this isn't nothing new. This is just natural.
You don't see it.
All right, thanks for listening to the Baseball Podcast.
Cheers, everyone.
Make sure you check us out at bEHsball.com. Follow us. Subscribe to us on YouTube.
Follow us too, actually.
It's all down here. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
Even outside,
I don't have that linked
if you want to just follow us.
Just follow me around.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give you my address, but show up to my house and just stare at me while I sleep.
I'm around Newmarket a lot. If I'll give you that, I'll name drop that place. But
throw us a like, throw us a subscribe somewhere down there. Check out the A Sports. Thanks, man.